Welcome into another video in my series where we're going through and testing every single weapon inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies to see just how viable these weapons are for you to use inside of your Modern Warfare 3 Zombies games. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the MW2 weapons. So if you guys are new around here and you'd like to see how weapons perform inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, make sure you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications so you're never going to miss out on another upload from myself on Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. As well, down below in the description, you will find the links for my stream, and I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I stream a ton of custom zombies and other zombie-related games. I'd love to have you guys come and hang out for sure. Now, in today's video, before we even get started into that, I need to take a second here and just thank the amazing support that you all have shown this channel recently. Holy smokes, you guys are absolutely smashing it. I'm blown away by the support. So recently we have reached 2 year-end milestones I had for the channel, which is 400,000 views and 3,000 subscribers. I can't thank you all enough for the support. You guys are helping the channel reach goals that I had for year-end and smash through those before YouTube is able to email me the achievements that I've reached. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support. It is truly astounding. Now, today's video, we're going to go through and use one of the blueprints that is unlocked in the Battle Pass. So you can see here on screen, I'm 100% at the Battle Pass. Let me know down in the comments where you guys are with the Battle Pass. So today, we're going to be looking at an SMG using the Jack Atlas aftermarket conversion kit, and it's for the AMR-9. And we're going to be taking this through all 3 tiers, taking on bounty contracts all the way through, and at the very end of the video, we're going to be diving into the Dark Aether to see how it performs in there. So without further ado, let's get to the AMR-9 review video today. Alright, so here we go. We're going to be spawning in and testing out the Jack Atlas kit, conversion kit for the AMR-9 SMG, and this is something that I didn't really give much attention to when I unlocked it and originally used it, so I wanted to do another run to see how it is. There had also been a Season 4 buff to the AMR-9, so again I wanted to make sure we test that out and see how it performs. So when we spawn in and do our weapon review videos, like I always do, we spawn in, put all of our perks on with no additions to the weapon at all, so no pack-a-punch, no tools, and no ammo mods on it as well. I did bring in my Aether blade and golden armor plates today for this run, and later on in the run I realized that I definitely should have equipped mags of holding for this, as the aftermarket conversion kit does not give you a very big magazine at all. It is 30 rounds, and then pack-a-punch it is 60, so I definitely would have rather have used mags of holding on this weapon for the run. So that's definitely something to keep in mind for sure, but you can already see just how strong this is against our first bounty of the day, a Mimic inside of Tier 1. We're white rarity with nothing on the AMR-9 with the Jack Atlas conversion kit on it at all, and you could already see how well it was performing with the critical damage. You can see the chunks dropping off of that Mimic inside of Tier 1. So at this point I was really excited to kind of push on, as I hadn't really used this conversion kit or this weapon too often, so it was definitely a fun run to do today for sure, to show you guys this and check it out. So the next thing to do was to visit Pack-a-Punch, make sure we melee the machine before we use the Pack-a-Punch machine, or equip our Pack-a-Punch crystals to keep our camo on our weapons for the rest of the run. So now it's time to grab another bounty contract inside of Tier 1, and this time we're going to be taking it on at white rarity with no ammo mods and just Pack-a-Punch 1 inside of Tier 1. And we got another Mimic, which was nice to compare our first bounty contract to our second one being the same bounty. So it was nice to see, and you could already see just what a difference Pack-a-Punch made when I was taking on this Mimic inside of Tier 1 right here. I mean, it was truly just a ton stronger right off the hop. I was already excited. You could see me jumping up and down there to see how well this was performing. I grabbed a schematic there, hoping to be able to hand that off to another player. The next thing to do on our last bounty contract inside of Tier 1 is to throw on my legendary tool and napalm burst, which is my favorite, and go find a bounty inside of Tier 1. And if you've been following along, I expect this bounty, now that we are pack 1 and legendary with napalm inside of Tier 1, to be very close, if not a one-shot, just like an instant delete. And if I see that, then I know going forward that this weapon is going to be incredibly strong as we move through the threat levels and move up. And you can see just, holy smokes, Our third mimic of the day had no chance inside of tier 1, just got like instantly evaporated. So it is time, and exciting time, to head straight into tier 2, being pack 1, legendary with napalm on the AMR-9 with the Jack Atlas conversion kit. I was extremely impressed with how well this was performing and how nice it felt to be able to use this Jack Atlas conversion kit. Like, it really feels nice to use this on your weapon. The AMR-9 feels a lot more like a laser beam. Like, it's very stable to shoot for sure. It's definitely something I really enjoyed. You've got the movement speed of the SMG, which is absolutely amazing, right? It's nice to have that when you're playing MW3 zombies, to be able to move around quickly. I do not like being slow inside of MW3 zombies, so definitely enjoy weapons that allow you to move around quickly. We were collecting self-revives today at an alarming pace, which was rather good, because I was planning on hoping to pick up a sigil in this run so I could head off to the Dark Aether. As you see, I am testing this weapon without mags of holding, so I was going to go to the Season 2 Dark Aether to get myself mags of holding so that I can use it when I'm using this weapon. Also, we went to Pack-a-Punch 2 and successfully managed to keep the camo on the weapon. I was quite happy about that. If you've known along, my brain tends to shut off when I'm recording, and I somehow always melee the Pack-a-Punch machine and in tier 2 and lose my camo. But we picked up our bounty contract, which was a Disciple, and you know I don't like Disciples, but we are now pack 2 inside of tier 2, legendary with napalm, and this Disciple did not stand a chance. I basically just stood there and dished out the damage to the Disciple, and he was gone. That was such a good feeling. If you know my thoughts on Disciples and how they move around and how long and just annoying those bounty contracts can be, and how long they can take to actually, you know, complete and get rid of the Disciple, for sure. So at this point, I was really happy with this. We got a Casimir out of that, which was awesome because I needed that. As I said, I was planning to go to the Dark Aether. So at this point, I was going to go to tier 3, but I didn't quite have enough cash to grab the rest of my perks, so I figured I'd grab one more contract here inside of tier 2, complete it, and grab some more cash so that when we went into tier 3, I was able to purchase the rest of my perks. So we grabbed a raid weapon stash inside of tier 2, and wanted to complete that just so we can grab some extra cash. I like to go to tier 3 and just grab my all of my perks right off top when I land in there, and you know, makes things a lot easier inside of tier 3. Now, how does this perform, you know, against the zombies? When you're doing a raid weapon stash, you have a bunch of them coming at you. Definitely not much of an issue. It just pretty much instantly wipes out the zombies as you shoot them, which is awesome to see. Like, I was really enjoying using this in this run. I was having just an absolute blast using this weapon. And like I said, we were collecting self-revives. So now it's time to go off to tier 3, through on the pack 3 crystal I bring in with me every single match, and the next thing to do was to ping our Wonder Fizz machine, as we now had enough cash to visit it and purchase the rest of the perks that I needed. So it was time to fly off into tier 3 and get ready to see how the AMR-9 with the Jack Atlas conversion kit handles tier 3 now that we have all of our perks and we are good to go. The only one I wasn't able to get off the Wonder Fizz machine was Tombstone, but I did manage to pick that up later on in the match, doing one of the bounty contracts inside of tier 3. So I wanted to go grab a bounty contract inside of tier 3, but there was none. So I went and grabbed this raid weapon stash right here by the ammo cache, and we went and did that one. Tier 3 today was very busy. It was a challenge to go ahead and get bounty contracts. I managed to get a bunch at the end of the match as people were leaving tier 3 and heading to Exfils or the Dark Aethers. So let me know if you guys have found that in order to get some bounty contracts and an opportunity to get some of the loot from the reward rifts inside of tier 3, that maybe you guys have to, you know, have a fight for some of the contracts in tier 3, or you are finding that there's more bounty contracts and more available later in the matches in tier 3. Let me know. Love to find out. I got a jug suit out of that. The loot today was definitely telling me to go to the Dark Aether. So we had to go off and visit Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches. You know that's important. We got to check him out. And I was feeling super aggressive today with this AMR-9 and the Jack Atlas conversion kit, because it was just shooting so straight, doing so much damage. As you can see here, Zhorde fired up his laser attack. We got rid of the one head already on his first laser attack, which was awesome to see. I wasn't about to take him into any cheese spots today. I was determined to run around and just be aggressive with Zhorde, because this SMG was just having me feel so confident running around tier 3 for sure. I went up top here. Zhorde was chasing me around and not firing up his laser attack, so I figured I'd jump up and get some verticality, because that usually inspires Zhorde to fire up his laser attack, and sure enough it did. And he got his second laser attack at me there. I wasn't able to finish off the second head on that laser attack, as there was a few other zombies I was dealing with. but you can see the damage I'm doing to Zhorde here, the critical damage that this AMR-9 Jack Atlas conversion kit is able to do to bounty contracts inside of tier 3. This is an HVT Mega Abomination, but you can see just how strong this is against the Mega Abomination. You can see the health bar, you can see the chunks of health that I'm taking off when I'm hitting the critical shots for sure. There's George's second head as he's firing off his laser attack, so you can see like this is definitely something that's going to be viable for us to be using inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. And here we are playing Ring Around the Building with Zhorde. He was hungry though. He was like trying to chomp away at me and everything, so I was had to get out of there for a minute. I did not feel like being eaten like a cookie. And then we were dealing with some of the riffraff here. I put down the energy mine to deal with them so I could focus in my energy on Zhorde. And you can see just how strong like the damage that is doing to George's health bar, even at range with an SMG. This is just truly awesome to see. It's definitely something that's going to be viable for you guys to use inside of tier 3. Like I said, I even feel like this is going to be something that's viable for you to use at an epic tool inside of tier 3. Possibly rare, but I feel like if you're bringing rare at tier 3 with this, that you're going to be going through ammo, a lot of ammo to be able to deal with enemies and HVTs and bounties, as the blue rarity I feel is just not going to be dealing enough damage. It's definitely something you're going to be able to use to take out the zombies and the rest of the stuff in tier 3, but I wouldn't necessarily use a blue tool on this in tier 3 to take on bounty contracts, as that extra health is going to take you a lot more rounds to get through. But we managed to finish off Zhorde, checked out our loot there, which wasn't anything that great, and then I went to go grab a spore contract because there was no bounty contracts, and we had a player that went down. So the first thing we did was stop everything we're doing, turn around and make a beeline for the player to get them back up, because we all know what it feels like to go down in tier 3 and have to plead for help and have nobody come to get you. It is just no bueno. I got the player up, wanted to make sure he was okay, and as soon as he got up, he got consumed by zombies. And so I went back over and got the player up just to make sure that, they're up and going, because that's the worst. You get up and then you go back down again. You got to plead out. No bueno. So happy to make sure he's up on his way. And then it was time to go and see if we could find ourselves a bounty contract instead of that spore. And I certainly found one, which made me happy to see. So we rushed over to pick up the bounty contract. I was happy to grab one. And then I wanted to see what this AMR-9 with the Jack Atlas conversion kit can do to a bounty contract, and we got a Mangler. So I was interested to see how this would perform against the Mangler, and we were taking shots. Now I was a little confused here because there's a zombie right behind that Mangler, and his health bar was showing up, and I thought I'd just like completely melted our Mangler bounty contract right there, only to realize that the Mangler had a whole lot more health than I was anticipating. And it was a zombie I was shooting behind him. But you can see just how confident I am using this. Like, we're getting slapped by the Mangler here. I'm just throwing on armor plate, shooting him in the critical spots in his head. Definitely not concerned about dealing with this bounty contract inside of tier 3 for sure, with this AMR-9 and the season 4 buff and the Jack Atlas conversion kit on it. Definitely recommend this weapon for sure. And again, another self-revive. Like, the game was telling me something, I swear. So at this point, I want to still trying to find a Mega Abomination bounty contract to show you guys just how strong this is. And we went and found another bounty contract inside of tier 3. Thank goodness, because it was running out of time and I was getting a little concerned. At this point, I still hadn't managed to pick up a sigil either. And I wanted to go into the Season 2 Dark Aether so I could replenish my mags of holding as I was out, because I didn't have one to use on this run. So I was really happy we got another bounty contract. And typically I found, for myself anyway, let me know what you guys think, but the Mega Abomination bounty contracts for me seem to drop sigils almost 90% of the time. So I was really happy that we got a Mega Abomination bounty contract here. Number one, just to show you guys how strong this is against a Mega Abomination bounty contract in tier 3, but also so that we can possibly get that sigil so I can head off to the Season 2 Dark Aether and get myself another mags of holding. Because that's kind of the only reason I go to the Season 2 Dark Aether, to be honest, is just to grab mags of holding, so I have them to use in my runs. So that's definitely one thing I do in the Season 2 Dark Aether. Let me know which Dark Aethers you guys go to and for what. I'd love to find out, which Dark Aether is the one being used the most by you guys for sure. Definitely something I'm interested in hearing some feedback from. So let me know down in the comments, which Dark Aether do you prefer to go, and when you go to the Dark Aether, what are you going there for to collect? So our Mega Abomination bounty contract is here. He fired up his laser attack, and you can see just how strong this is against that Mega Abomination. We're going through all the zombies and hitting him in the laser attack, and it's definitely doing some awesome damage. I mean, you can see at range just how much of that health bar is coming off as we're just shooting the Mega Abomination. Like, we are literally melting his health bar. It is truly awesome to see. I love having more and more weapons to use, especially the aftermarket conversion kits, giving us, you know, a second life on a weapon, or sometimes making that weapon worse. That's definitely something that's happened for sure too. So we got some more verticality here, like I said, to try and inspire our Mega Abomination to fire up his laser attack, and that worked absolutely perfect. So he was just about finished there. He's got about one more laser attack in, and we're on to his last head, and you can see his damage is almost completely gone. He fired up his last laser attack right here, and we were able to just kind of charge the Mega Abomination and finish him off pretty much. I mean, I was really feeling confident with this AMR-9 definitely today in this run. As you can see, like, not an issue. We're not running and hiding from the Mega Abomination, just flat out engaging. So it was definitely something that I enjoy using this. So make sure you guys give this a shot. Let me know what you guys think and what builds you guys are running. And like I said, we finally got our sigil and tombstone out of that, which was awesome. So I wanted to go off to the buy station, grab myself a Casimir before I headed into the Season 2 Dark Aether to grab possibly Mags of Holding so that I could get another one, as I was definitely running out. So we made it to the Season 2 Dark Aether, and it was time to head off and grab our first contract inside of inside of the Dark Aether, which is the bounty contract. So this is the first one I do. This is the route I take to go pick up the bounty contract. And we got ourselves a disciple in the Dark Aether, so I was not necessarily happy about that, as disciples are something that are annoying, but it gave me a good opportunity to show you guys how viable this weapon can be for you all to be using inside of the Dark Aether, how strong it is. You can see how much of that Disciple's health we were able to take down right there. Now, as you guys know, inside the Dark Aether, there is a ton of riffraff and constant spawning of HVTs, zombies, dogs, just absolute endless amounts of hordes coming at you and zombies, and you can see just how well this performs. You've got the movement, so you can, you know, get out of tight spaces inside of the Dark Aether. In that is an SMG, and you can see the damage that you're able to dish out to, you know, the horde that's coming at you inside of Tier 3. I mean, at times I'm able to stand and just dish out the damage and take out everything coming at me inside of the Dark Aether, which is, like, impressive to see, really impressive to see. I was feeling really confident inside the Dark Aether using this for sure. Sometimes I come in here and it's a little sketchy. You're not able to deal quite the damage that I feel is needed to, you know, make the Dark Aether just something that's enjoyable to do and not, you know, just absolutely max stress levels the entire time you're in there. HVT Mega Abomination taken out, or HVT, sorry, Mangler taken out there, not a problem. We've got the crowd still coming at me. I'm using the energy mine to help clear out the riffraff so I can focus in on our bounty contract inside of the Dark Aether. And you can see just how much of a, you know, annoyance for me disciples are as they move around and attract more riffraff. It was just absolute craziness how long this one took. But we got another self-revive out of the deal. 2 epic tools that I did not need, so I didn't grab those. And so off to pick up our next contract in the Dark Aether, which is the P&D. Now, this P&D contract is one that can get very, very spicy for sure when you're inside of here. And I was thoroughly impressed with how well I was able to take out anything basically that was in front of me, which is important, I feel, when you're inside the Dark Aether, to have a weapon that as you move towards damage and as, you know, the horde comes at you, like you can see during this P&D contract, that you're able to, you know, take them out with your weapon. Also, you know, tips for completing this if you're in the Dark Aether doing this one solo: keep moving, use your tacticals. If you got an energy mine, pop that, you know, as often as you can, for sure. The biggest trick for me is to just keep moving inside of the P&D contract, and you can stay in here the whole time to complete it fairly quickly, instead of having to dip out and dip back in, which will stop progression on the contract. So definitely something that is viable is this weapon inside the Dark Aether. I fully think so, 100% for sure. I was definitely not having much of an issue. The sheer speed of the zombies in the Dark Aether, though, just amazes me at how much chaos ensues in here and how quickly things can go from, you know, I'm feeling totally in control to, oh my goodness, what is happening? Why is there so much craziness all of a sudden? Where did these spawns come from? I did dip out for a quick second there to just survive a little bit, but as you can see, just make use of, you know, the countertops inside of this P&D contract by mantling over top of them, as your horde will, you know, move around and give you a breathing room for a second. So for sure, keep your plates on like I am here, and you guys should be able to just kind of run around and complete that contract. So I was hoping that we got mags of holding in here, and thank goodness I got what I came in here for. So that was it for me. I came in here to grab mags of holding. I'll call that a success. So it was time to make our way to the exfil and get the heck out of Dodge. And that was truly an awesome run. Truly had a blast using this. If you guys haven't unlocked the Jack Atlas aftermarket conversion kit for the AMR-9, go into your weekly challenges, find out which ones you need to do to unlock that. Give it a shot for sure. I definitely recommend using this weapon through all 3 tiers and the Dark Aether, as you can see in today's video. Now, here's the weapon build that I used. I do have the Jack Atlas kit on there, just in case you guys are wondering. But let's work together in the comments section to come up with a build for this that we can all use that is absolutely amazing. The blueprint I'm using is Poisoned Caress Black Cell from the Battle Pass. And the camo I have on there is in all of your camos down in wavelength, and it is called Gradient Globs. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.